All right, we're live, and this is season 2, episode 5 of Breaking Bad, Breakage. It starts out pretty good. You see the Mexicans crossing the border, I guess, and finding the little block of Tuco's grill.
Foreshadowing.
Yeah,
We don't know
major
how it got there yet.
foreshadowing.
We
Yeah.
know Hank was given it, but we don't know why it's in the water.
hmm
And the episode
Yes.
deals with it leads up to why it's in the water. There's a
Yeah.
lot of Hank in this one.
hmm And a lot of purple too that I noticed.
Oh, because a lot of Marie too. There's a
Yeah.
lot of
So
Marie.
after they foreshadow that, you see Walt getting treatment, and Skylar's not with him.
Yeah, things are tense. There's a lot of that
hmm
too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
even the doctor was wondering what's going on with him, man. Walt lied to him and said everything's fine at home. We've just been real busy.
hmm Well, she was at that meeting, wasn't she? Or maybe not.
No, it was just Walt.
Okay.
This is like the first time that Skylar hasn't went with him.
Yeah, she's you know, and they've been covering this in at least the last one or two episodes that
hmm
she's put up a wall until he comes clean with whatever is going on with him.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm trying to make myself comfortable. There we go. Um, yeah, real lot going on in this episode, and it doesn't really seem that way, but you've
hmm
got the Walt Skyler tension. Um, you've got Jesse, bunch of things going on, and it's Jesse the
Yeah.
businessman. You know, Jesse the way he is with his friends. Jesse talking to Walt
hmm
about breakage, making some really good points. Um,
hmm
it kind of reminds me of later on Hazard Pay, where Walt just doesn't understand that you don't get every penny. Things happen, but
Yeah.
and a lot about Hank not being excited about his promotion because he's scared.
hmm
He's got PTSD over Tuco.
Yeah. Yeah. He went into panic attack when he was in the elevator.
And then took the next day off,
hmm
which was that's one of my favorite scenes right there when Marie opens the garage door and that whole exchange is very funny.
It is. I like that. That was great. I also like the moment when he was in the elevator and they used the noise of Jesse's car playing in the background. Did you notice
Oh
that?
no, the new car that he had just bought from the
No, not the
junkyard
new one.
dude.
The old one. The old one. When it was rocking.
Really?
When it was, yeah, they used that as, I guess. I think they used it. They played it in the background, and I guess they used it when Hank was going down the elevator to make it like he's hearing the car.
Well, which yeah, just hammers in, and this is about Tuco. He's
Yeah.
wow. No, I didn't notice that. Interesting.
Yeah, that was something that I noticed that I didn't notice before. Um, the other thing that I noticed was during the family dinner at Hank and Marie's, a whole lot of purple.
Oh yeah, there's always purple on that house. And
I
and
mean,
whenever
the dishes were
Marie,
purple.
wait a minute. Oh, it was at their house. Okay.
Yeah.
And but yeah, when I mean whenever Marie's around, there's purple. And she's a
hmm
big part of this episode for two reasons. One is that she's one of the people putting pressure on Hank to take this
hmm
job. Do your time. We'll be in a little condo in Georgetown eventually,
hmm
and then with Skylar, because Skylar's not only at a crossroads, like at a an impasse is more the word with Walt, but she's still Tiara Gate has not been resolved.
Yeah.
She's still waiting for that apology. And Skylar's just like really. She wants truth from Walt. She wants an apology from her sister. She's really not asking for a lot.
Hmm.
Excuse me. Um, she really isn't asking for a lot.
Yeah.
But this episode is one of those that knocks her down a bunch of pegs with the people who don't like Skylar because she's had some cigarettes and she's eating a Hot Pocket or something. No, a panini.
A panini. Yeah.
Yes. And Walt is
Yeah.
on his high horse with her about that.
Yeah. Walt found out. He was vomiting in the toilet, and I guess it was clogged up, and he took the thing and found the box of cigarettes. I'm
Back
surprised
out.
Skylar didn't lie. Yeah, I'm surprised Skylar didn't lie. Say, oh, it must be Walt Jr.'s or something.
Oh no, she wouldn't do that
Lied to him, but
she wouldn't do that to him. And what she's doing
well,
is
he does it to her, so he
true.
does it to her, but
Yeah, but she
so why
wants to
not do
make
it
it
to him?
right. And she can't start playing that game. The only secret she keeps about is where she's going, and it's not like she's doing anything bad.
Hmm.
She's just going out.
Yeah.
Um, no, she comes clean and lets him know exactly how many she smoked and that she does feel ashamed. And the very fact that they were flushed down the toilet really backs up her story. You
Hmm.
know that she decided against it, but I think we talked about this last time.
Hmm.
Everybody's got their stress thing, and that's hers. And
Yeah.
Marie shoplifts, and Hank drinks and has panic attacks, and everybody's
Hmm.
got their thing when they're stressed.
Yeah.
But he is on a high horse, and it's not like she's working with dangerous chemicals. She's you know, he's already at this point already done the fulminated mercury thing.
Hmm.
He's killed people. He's had, guns pointed at him. And he's talking to her about 3.5 cigarettes like, she's the one being really, really irresponsible. But I think that's his way of dealing. People do
Yeah.
that anyway. A lot of people do that. When they know,
Hmm.
even if they don't consciously know, somewhere inside they know that they're not they're not behaving the way they're supposed to, they project.
Hmm.
And they just
Yeah. I
look
also like her. Yeah.
at.
Yeah. I totally agree. I also like her response. Maybe I smoked him in a fugue state.
Oh yes, that is awesome. How can I forget? And the whole thing about Junior, why is it up to me to know where he is every second? You're his father. You could pick up the
Hmm.
phone like I do, you know,
Hmm.
which gives us the impression that he's always used to knowing where Junior is through Skylar, and
Yeah.
you know, she's
Yeah.
really
I also
mad
like
at.
her response when he asks where Junior is, and she said out, and that was it.
And it's like, she wants this honesty thing. You know,
Hmm.
that's the only equity she's really asking for. She doesn't want Walt to take over her jobs. You know what I mean? She's
Hmm.
perfectly happy doing that, but she's using it as ammo in the standoff that they've
Hmm.
got going. And she was, it was easier to make Marie apologize than it was to get Walt to tell the truth.
Yeah.
So she's got her sister back.
Hmm. Yeah, and
And
in this one, Walt and Jesse is back to cooking meth. Walt wants Jesse to take over the night stuff, and so Jesse told him, "Well, I got some guys that I can talk to," and they made the deal.
that meeting was great. He
I like that.
Jesse is really
That was
emerging
that
as
was
a
good.
businessman in this.
Hmm.
from explaining to Walt that there's breakage, there is in every
Hmm.
business, even if it's a service, you lose time, which is money, um,
Hmm.
to the way he handles that meeting. It's soda
Yeah.
and pretzels, and
Hmm.
the stuff's not even there. He has got the plan all down.
Hmm.
He, but it's funny because he's trying to establish himself as somebody, and he takes from two people in the same speech. He takes from Jane and he takes from Walt. He says
Yeah.
DBAA and apply
Hmm.
yourself.
Yeah. I also noticed that uh, Combo, Badger, and Skinny Pete kind of reminds me of the Three Stooges.
Hey, there may be something to that because remember they used them before.
Yeah,
That really may be something to that.
because just by the way they look, I mean, you have Skinny Pete with the hat on that looks like Moe's bowl cut, Badger's curly hair, and Combo, he's bald. So maybe there might be a little, a little nod
Wow,
to the Three Stooges.
you know, I don't know if they're all still there, but on the official site there's audio podcasts for each episode.
Hmm.
And so far I have forgotten to just play it and listen. They're long. They're really long, a lot of them. Like 90 minutes. But you get a lot of insight. Vince Gilligan will be there a lot. Some of the actors, definitely
Hmm.
writers, and um, you get a lot of insight. So I got to start listening to that, and you make me want to check out that podcast and see if that's that comes up.
Yeah.
And yeah, but Jesse, and there's a contrast. There's these three goofy ones, Badger's talking about
Hmm.
horn on 3D, and uh, Jesse's like, okay, we're gonna do this. Is this where he says layered like nachos?
The seven-layer nacho thing.
Does he say that
I
in
think that
this
might be
one?
a later
Yeah, because he'll
It might be
say
a
like,
later episode.
I think it's one. I think he wants them to all expand into having their own little groups maybe later, but
Hmm.
they're not gonna get that far here. But
Yeah.
yeah, he is business minded. He takes care of business with the is it Badger's cousin?
Hmm.
He when
Yeah,
he
with
stole
the
his own RV, he pays him back and then
yeah,
some.
he pays him back. Yeah.
You
Which
know,
reminds me, Jesse was talking about him going to business school in a few when he was talking to his mom a while back. He said it's online and everything, so that's maybe there's a correlation between that that he that his parents really want him to go to business school because they know that he can actually excel in it.
he can. The way he gets Jane to rent the apartment despite all of the
Hmm.
warning signs is because there's
Yeah.
something irresistible about him. I mean, he's putting on the charm, but he's not really stepping that far away from who he is at all.
Hmm.
He There's just something about him, and she can't resist that. And even and it's funny because she can see that he's not that bright about things like Jesse Jackson. Really, you don't get, you know,
Yeah.
um, and he doesn't understand these terms, and um, but she just wants to go for it. She just thinks that this guy's
Hmm.
gonna be okay, and he's proven it with the guy who had his RV. It
Hmm.
gets him to work with him again. Um, but it's what's
He knows
interesting.
the art of the deal.
Yeah, but and yeah, he's just got the right personality too.
Yeah.
I mean, he just comes across as honest and laid back, interested in what people are saying. A
Do
good
you think maybe
listener.
that's why? Do you think maybe that's why Vince didn't change up his teeth at all? Because if he would have changed his teeth up, then he would have never come across like that. But since he kept it as it is, that's exactly why he came across like that.
Well, first of all, I think, um, not everybody who smokes meth will get this, and the time in which it starts may vary. Maybe he's really good with his oral hygiene. I don't see him brushing his teeth much, but Vince regrets it.
Yeah.
And it's common, but just like anything, it doesn't necessarily have to happen. I can't imagine. Maybe it's shallow, but I just can't imagine Jesse looking like that. Because again, he's on and off with it. He doesn't always smoke it.
Yeah.
If you snort it, it doesn't affect your teeth. And we don't know how long he's been doing it. Maybe not all that long. He's still young.
Yeah.
I mean, I think if he had been, if we got an indication he's been doing it since he was like in 9th grade and he does it every day and he always smokes it and now he's 20, whatever, 25, yeah, I'd expect to see some rot there.
Yeah.
And the poor guy,
Well,
by the end of the series, his face is messed up forever, so come on.
Yeah, maybe not as bad as that woman that tried to rob Skinny Pete in this episode. The skank.
Yeah, Skank and Wendy.
Oh my God.
Skank and Wendy. And Skank makes Wendy look good, but Skank and Wendy have really horrible teeth. Because they do it every day.
Yeah.
Jesse doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't use as much as Tuco by a long shot. I mean, Tuco had to have a grill. Tuco totally, but actually, I don't think I ever saw him smoke it. He always snorted, didn't he?
He always snorts it. Yeah, he always snorted. So I don't. He made us smoke it, but we never know.
And I've seen Jesse do it, and Jesse will take one hit or so. I don't know. I don't know why Vince regrets it because we're shallow people, we're human, and we would have had a different impression of him altogether. At the very least, I don't think girls would be so hot for him. That'd be a turnoff.
Well, but maybe he could have made his teeth yellow or something. Not make it real bad, but just make it like with the yellowish tint to his teeth.
Yeah. Yeah, something, or just a little bit where you could see that it was starting, but it wasn't so far gone that it made a big difference.
Yeah.
Maybe that would have made sense. But when they're having that breakage conversation, and Walt says to Jesse, "You think Tuco had breakage?" And I was actually like listening while I was puttering around, and I'm like, "Yeah, he did. With you, Walt. You waltzed in there, no pun intended, and demanded the money for the meth he stole, plus extra for the beatdown." And then you trashed this place with fulminated mercury. It was the fulminated mercury. That's breakage.
Yeah.
Tuco didn't make out on that deal. And then Tuco dies. That's the most epic fail, lose, overdone. You won't be making any money anymore. So, well, Tuco had breakage. Then again, he does have a good point. That it can't get around that this is easy to do. Especially with, the fact that it's skank and spooge. I don't know. It's like getting robbed by a 2-year-old. It just shouldn't happen. You should be smarter than them. But, I
noticed something.
Like, we've already seen them. Well,
we've seen them.
We saw them
We've
last
seen them some more.
Next time.
On Peekaboo. Yeah.
One of my favorite
which is
episodes
going to be really
ever.
great.
Ever. I love that
Yeah,
episode.
I think out of the whole season, Peekaboo is probably the most memorable episode of
Yeah.
season two.
Yeah, and it's not just because of the gore factor that we'll see, that splat, but it's a character study about Jesse and that
Yeah,
little
we see a
kid
side
that,
of Jesse that we've never seen.
you know, no, we kind of have seen it. We've seen it with his little
A little
brother.
bit.
With his little
Hmm.
brother. He is
Yeah.
not about to, and maybe we don't see it as a kid thing, but he's not about to make this kid's life miserable. He knows these
Hmm.
parents. He knows what happens if they find out the kid's smoking weed, and he doesn't
Hmm.
want it. He takes the fall. Like they already hate me, so
Hmm.
maybe you've got a chance. But this definitely
Yeah.
next week will establish him as the defender of the children.
Hmm. Well, Peekaboo, I'm going to have to take 2 weeks off, so it'll be the 19th of April when we discuss it.
2 weeks is you taking okay, Skippy, so it's 3 weeks from now.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, April 19th. That's when we do Peekaboo.
I almost forgot it was that tonight was tonight. I thought it really got postponed and almost missed it again.
Yeah, well, yeah, last week nobody showed up, so that's why I rescheduled.
I'm sorry. But actually, I
Yeah,
was kind of happy
I
when I
figured
saw it was
something might have
rescheduled.
happened or something. Yeah, something might have happened, so that's why I rescheduled.
Oh, I think I tried to tell you that my brother was coming around. He was in Boston, which isn't far, and he's been
Oh,
traveling. I haven't seen him in years, and 3 years, and he's been traveling all over the world. So I definitely had to
no, that's
devote that
fine.
night.
I knew something must have came up, so that's why I rescheduled.
Did you see that thing? Oh God, I wish I remember the name of the site. But there's a site that it makes a graph of every TV show that you can think of, and
Hmm.
it's episode by episode. And it's their IMDb rating, and it makes a graph. So every episode is a dot on the graph. It shows you, where it is. And you look at
Hmm.
Breaking Bad now. You see an upward trend overall, obviously,
Yeah.
but you see the highest dot, and then you see the lowest dot, and you just have to take one look, and you know which one is the bottom one and which one is the top one. Top being Ozymandias, bottom being Fly.
Hmm.
I didn't even have to look it up, and then of course when I checked, and I really, really hope I'm around for Fly because I'm going to defend that
Oh,
sucker.
Fly. I like
It's
Fly.
it's the
I don't
lowest.
know why everybody hate it. It it's it's supposed
I
to be
know,
a bottle episode because,
low budget.
and they made it funny. I know
It
they made it
wasn't just
funny.
funny; it was profound. It was like Lady
Yeah.
Macbeth. Walt, out, damn spot. The fly was his guilt. It was great. It was great. But yeah, I mean, you just look. It's funny. You look at the graphs of these shows and you go, I think I know what that top one is. I mean, I don't watch Game of Thrones, but I saw the
Hmm.
top dot said that's the one with the red wedding. Never saw it, but
Yeah, I never saw Red Wedding. I've heard about it.
yeah,
I've never seen it.
I know more about that show for somebody who doesn't watch it than anything. But yeah, this one, Jesse is really trying to teach Walt a thing or two about business, but Walt makes a compelling
Hmm.
statement because this is a different kind of business. If you're Kmart
Hmm.
and you get ripped off, you have the law on your side.
Yeah.
You can't in this business exactly go to the police and say, "Hey, these dudes stole my meth."
Hmm.
So you have to find other options to minimize loss.
Hmm.
And Jesse doesn't want to do this. But
Yeah.
and it's like with
But at the
Walt,
end,
I
Walt
just
gives
feel
him the
like
task.
you're such an asshole. You're not the one out there slinging this crap, and you know you just sit back and collect the money after Jesse helps you cook, and you get to sleep at night, and you
Hmm.
know you
Well,
try not getting ripped
I
off.
noticed something. Right after Skylar and Walt had that, sit down, the next scene was Walt going to Jesse's, saying, "Take care of it." Do you think he's getting Walt's and taking it out on Jesse because he can't do it on Skylar?
Yeah, I think he does. Remember, he uses Jesse last
Hmm.
episode, um, because nobody's accepting all of his attempts to be a really great guy.
Hmm.
Junior's off doing his thing. The driving lesson goes terribly. Skylar is just shut down, screams at
Hmm.
him, tells him stop. Don't. You know, stop saying stuff that's
Yeah.
BS. And then there's Jesse after this bad night, covered in the blue stuff, not the meth, obviously. Um, Desperate for money, and he after they have a fight. At some point, I think Walt realizes this
Hmm.
guy will accept the good me. And Walt really needs somebody to accept the good parts of him. Because otherwise, he's just a guy who's doing bad things. And he doesn't want to be that.
Hmm.
So he takes Jesse in, he offers him breakfast,
Yeah.
just like he would with Skylar and Junior, and he gives him money. So I
Hmm.
think, yeah, he can't he can't manipulate Skylar in any way. He can't soften her up. He can't pull
Yeah.
her strings. And so he's got to get something under control, and there's this.
Hmm. And the reason why Jesse is doing all this, I'm guessing, is to prove to Walt that he can actually do this. To prove to Walt, because his parents, I don't think his parents raised him right. So he wants to prove to Walt that, yes, I can do this. I can do what you want me to do.
Yep, and he's a lot like Hank in this episode in that way, because Hank is
Hmm.
looking at his future in his chosen profession with
Hmm.
dread and doubt that he can do it. And he's saying, I'm the brains and the brawn, but he's the
Hmm.
guy having a panic attack in the elevator. And when the beer bottles explode in the garage in the middle of the
Yeah.
night,
Hmm.
he thinks somebody's firing weapons.
Hmm.
And this is just after
And
Tuco.
that scene,
He knows he's headed to
and in that
Juarez.
scene with the beer bottles, he could have actually shot Marie because he had the gun pointed at her.
Wow. That would have been irony. Irony, because remember,
I mean,
this is the
this
substance,
is.
the addictive, um, substance that Hank makes that just happens to be legal.
Hmm. Yeah.
And this is where he's a lot like Walt, because Walt makes a substance that's addictive
Hmm.
too. It just now it's
Yeah.
illegal. So, but but yeah, he's so freaked out that he doesn't even put two and two together
Hmm.
until he sees it. He goes into freak out mode, and this is just over Tuco. He has not been to Juarez yet.
Hmm.
Juarez is
No.
Tuco on steroids,
Oh my God. That's gonna be great discussion right there.
and he really doesn't want to go,
That's,
but he has to. He has to to prove,
yeah.
like Jesse's trying to prove to himself he can do these things. He's got to
Hmm.
try to do it for himself. For everybody who knows him and we're at work, he's got to prove he's not scared.
Hmm.
And because Marie's like, do it, keep moving up the ladder. He has
Hmm.
to do it. Because if Hank isn't the big macho guy, he's nothing.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm surprised that Hank has post-traumatic stress disorder because you saw him when he's out there looking at the dead body of the Tuco's guys, and he's just laughing and cutting up, you know?
Yeah, but they're dead. They're not shooting
Yeah.
at him. He had a you know a shootout with Tuco. That was pretty damn scary.
Hmm.
Tuco had a big weapon,
Hmm.
and that could have been
Yeah.
Hank. Hank was protected by his vehicle door,
Hmm.
and Tuco's there like Scarface. So yeah, that was really scary. He could have
Hmm.
died right there, and Juarez is, as we'll see, and we already know. There's more than one Tuco there,
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
so I'm not surprised he's got PTSD. I mean, I think it makes him a more believable character.
Hmm.
Nobody, nobody is that brave without fear. Everybody in a situation like that has some fear. It's a matter of how um, they handle it, how they make room for it, how they talk themselves through it. And in Hank's case, he gets these panic attacks, and it's harder for him than some people. Like my brother being in the military, he's been in some shady, crazy situations, and he had his ways of getting through it. But he's a tough guy, but I wouldn't call him unafraid. He just faces it, and that's
Hmm.
something that Hank is getting way more experience in as we go along.
Yeah.
Because some of these busts were like, they weren't so dangerous. Most of the busts we've seen him do, like the busts he shows on TV, they go in either nobody's there or
Yeah.
they all run away or they get arrested.
Hmm. Hmm.
Tuco's big time. So yeah,
Hmm.
I'm not surprised. He's under a lot of pressure. He's got to do this. He can't be afraid. And and then there's Jesse. He wants to be the big guy too, and he's looking up to he. This shows how much he looks up to Walt. He says, "Apply
Hmm.
yourself." And apply yourself is not just something that Walt says a lot. We saw on
Hmm.
that paper,
Yeah, the
that
paper.
test or something
And
that,
then yeah, it was the test that Jesse did, and he came across it, and on the big red letters, apply yourself.
and it was like ridiculous or something.
Hmm.
It was really, really, it really hurt him, made him feel bad about himself.
Yeah.
So, but and he's trying. That's how he's dealing with this. He's trying to turn it around.
Hmm.
He's admitting that Walt was right. He didn't apply himself, and now he's trying to.
Prove him wrong.
Yeah, and he is like really smart about it. Like, there's nothing here.
Hmm.
We're separating this. We're spreading it out. We're not doing it here. He's like Gus in that sense right there, and they don't even know Gus
Yeah.
yet.
Hmm.
If that,
Yeah. We also forgot to mention that Jane finally made her appearance on this episode.
well, yeah, we're talking about how he rented the apartment,
Yeah.
and first she was gonna shut him down. I want pay stubs. And he's like, well, between banks or whatever. I don't, all
Hmm.
these excuses, and she's like, I'm not renting. And then he just lays it out. He's like, look, I just need a break here. I'm good for the rent,
Hmm.
you know.
Yeah.
And there's something about him that's so genuine that Jane is swayed by it. Badger's cousin is swayed by it. Last week, Walt was swayed by it.
Hmm.
Yeah. Doesn't work on his parents though ever. But
Yeah. So
I love the Jane
this.
Jesse relationship because she's really smart, and
Hmm.
Jesse's got some smarts, but sometimes comes across like, "Hello, did you just crawl out from under a rock?" Like, okay, I see you watch the
Hmm.
Discovery
Yeah.
Channel, you know about Ebola, but you've never heard of Jesse Jackson. But, but yeah, this episode, really covers a lot of characters.
Hmm.
Makes Marie a little shows the better side of Marie. She finally apologizes. She's not so stubborn
Hmm.
that she's going to keep this forever. She wants her sister back too, and she says a very heartfelt "I'm sorry," which was all that Skylar wanted. It's free.
Hmm.
It's freeing, you know.
Yeah.
Um, they're given dimension to Marie and and Hank. Hank with his PTSD and his fears, and I love how she criticizes him in the garage. And he says, "Relax," and she's like, "Don't say that. You know how much I hate that." And then she goes, "Dave told me I should express that." Like, I'm sorry, honey, but the shrink told me to say that, so I'm saying it.
Have you seen the webisode with Marie? And she was doing her video diary.
Yes.
That was great.
Oh yeah. Marie is such a
Awesome.
character. I love her. I really do love her. It
Yeah.
was funny because in one of my talks, we talked about Marie, and we really liked her character a lot, and we thought that she was deep down a really good person, but we didn't want somebody like her in our lives
Hmm.
because she's annoying enough.
Hmm.
She's enough of a pain.
Yeah.
But when you're looking at her from the outside, she really does try to be a good person.
Hmm.
So they're giving some
Yeah. So.
dimension to her.
Hmm. So that's pretty much what happened in this episode. It's a good leeway to Peekaboo, which I think that's going to be a great talk in 2 weeks.
Oh, I love that one. And I love the one after that. I'm a blowfish.
What, what was that one? What was the title of that one? It was Peekaboo, and then some. Was it correlation with the plane crash?
Is that Phoenix? That can't be Phoenix.
It might be Phoenix.
No,
It
I
might
think
be
it's the
Phoenix.
episode before Phoenix. Phoenix is the one where bad stuff happens. And then ABQ is where more bad stuff happens.
Yeah.
Oh. If only I could just Google it and find out. I forget which one it is. Over? No, we did over.
We did over. I'm googling it right now.
Okay.
Let's see here.
I feel stupid for not knowing.
Oh, it might be Better Call Saul. No, it's Negro y Azul,
Negro y Azul.
Black and Blue.
Oh, that's
Yes,
the one
Black
that
and
ends
Blue.
up that starts with the Mexican band doing the Ballad of
Hmm.
Heisenberg.
The Ballad of
That
Heisenberg. Yeah,
Black and Blue. That's awesome.
yeah. Then after that is Better Call Saul.
Really? Okay, so Negro y Azul, we know what
Yeah.
happens. Oh, yeah, things are getting hotter. It'll be
Hmm.
fun. But I'm gonna listen to the podcast for Peekaboo
Hmm.
and watch the episode again. But they have these really, really in-depth discussions of every single episode. So, you find out a lot of fun facts. So I'm gonna
Hmm.
see what I can scrounge up watching that, listening to that.
Hmm.
And I still haven't decided if I'm doing something this week. I'm not sure who I would talk about. I've been so busy I don't even remember what we've done. I might take a break too. Mental health. Think about
Oh
it.
yeah, just exercise your brain or whatnot.
Well, I have gotten officially sucked in to The Walking Dead. It's
Oh
funny.
yeah.
I started by trying to watch it, and then I get lost and I started over again and get lost and started over again later. And a couple of weeks ago, they had an episode that just grabbed me, and I'm like, all right, you got me. So tomorrow is the season finale, and I'll be sad.
Well, there is some connections in Breaking Bad and Walking Dead.
Yeah, there's blue stuff in it. One of the characters has a
No, there's more than that.
bag of drugs.
There's more
The
than that.
the Challenger.
There's the Challenger. Have you seen the link for it yet?
The mashup.
No, not the mashup. There's this link. It has all these things combining, saying that Walking Dead is the Breaking Bad is the prequel to Walking Dead.
Right. Yeah, that the
Yeah.
blue stuff causes the apocalypse.
Hmm.
And yes,
Yeah,
it
I'll
has the
send you
blue
the
stuff.
link
I'll have
once
to
you
check that
check it out if
out.
you haven't seen it.
That's why
Yeah,
that
I'll send you the
mashup
link.
works seamlessly. They have the same Dodge Challenger. And, and then so they show the car being driven like crazy through the streets, but it's really Walt behind the wheel.
Hmm.
But one thing that's funny is that I don't think the word zombie or zombies, has ever been uttered in The Walking Dead.
No.
But it's been
Yeah,
mentioned
it's just
in Breaking Bad.
words.
Yeah. Saul says it. Badger says it.
Hmm.
Pretty funny. But, well, thanks for
Yeah,
hosting
I'll send you that
again.
link. Oh, no problem. Yeah, so April 5th, no, not 15th, April 19th is going to be Peekaboo.
Psyched.
Hopefully Marty will join in on that.
Yeah, I haven't seen her around in a while.
Yeah,
But,
I'll drop her a message on Facebook, tell her we're going to do Peekaboo in April.
I'll pimp that out because that's an episode people like to talk about.
Yeah, it's great. Like I said, in my opinion, that's one of the most memorable episodes of season 2.
I ain't no skank.
Oh, I think we're going to say skank a lot on in 2 weeks.
I think they miscredit her. They call her Spooge's woman.
No, they should just gave her the title skank.
Totally. She
I
skanked
mean,
me.
my God. She scared me when I first saw that episode tonight. Breakage. Oh my God. She looked like the Wicked Witch of the West that's been beaten with a
Oh, you
shovel.
mean in last week's? Or you were watching
No,
ahead?
this week's. Yeah, I was watching ahead.
Oh yeah, and when he
Oh
oh
my
yeah. Well,
gosh.
I'll start
I
talking about
mean,
things prematurely, but yeah, she's like
oh my God.
pathetic.
They nailed her makeup to a T. Even that
Well,
guy, they
and
nailed his makeup to a T.
working in a medical office, lot of drug addicted people, really,
Hmm.
really, really bad, and they call and they're like, my prescription, and I mean, they're not really too far off from her.
Hmm.
They're not too far off. I mean,
Even Wendy. I mean, Wendy, she was so real that you probably heard this, but during the Wendy montage, some guy actually thought she was a real prostitute and tried to pick her up.
wow.
When
But
they was filming the Wendy montage. I mean,
Wendy
jeez.
is so I mean, she's definitely not going to make Time Person of the Year, but when you compare her to Skank,
Hmm.
she comes through
I
when
mean,
Jesse needs her, and she does an
yeah,
awesome job. Did we do that? Did they do that already? They did the whole
the
probable cause thing, right?
yeah. He did that one. The
And she
next
did
time
a
we'll see her is
fantastic
when
job.
yeah.
What's that?
The next time we'll see Wendy is when she's in the montage of the opening,
I love that.
and she helps out. I think that's great.
A Day in the Life of Wendy, yeah.
Yeah.
She's just doing what she needs to do to get through the day, and tomorrow's another one, and it's a really sad
Hmm.
existence, but she is still not like Skank. She
If I had to
can
choose
find,
between Wendy or the Skank one, I mean, I
she
would choose Wendy all
she
the way.
can identify her left ass cheek. A line we'll hear later. And she came
Uh,
through for Jesse, and she stuck to the story, and she
mhm.
pulled out the, oh, you're the one who wanted me to sleep with that kid, and then
uh, and,
we'll see her later because I don't know what her motivation was to help him. Probably some free meth, but later
probably.
she's gonna help
No doubt
him
it.
trying to deal with the guys who killed Tomas.
Hmm.
And she's really scared of all this, but she's willing to do it, and because she's
Yeah.
got a kid too.
Hmm.
Yeah, he's probably got better TV to watch.
Yeah, and speaking of kids, we're going to see a freaking awesome kid in Peekaboo. I mean, they they did really outdid themselves on the kid in Peekaboo.
Yeah, he was good. He was perfect. And it's
Hmm.
almost like he barely speaks, and it's like he's stunted because his parents are just so bad.
Hmm.
That they're not talking, and that's how kids learn. You have conversations with them. They mimic your words. They learn the words. He's not learning anything.
Hmm.
Not anything that he can
Yeah.
use to communicate. He's not looking for
Hmm.
heroin and meth. He's just looking for like something to eat. Poor kid. And he's oh yeah, well
Hmm.
I'm talking about it ahead of time, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's so good with talking ahead. That's how good it is.
That kid's probably in high school by now. I'm gonna have to
I'm
look
not
him up.
sure. I don't know how old he was.
I'm gonna have to look him
He
up.
looked about 6 or 7,
He
maybe a little
did.
bit old, maybe around 8. He looked around about 6 to 8.
Okay, well,
So he might be
if you
in
add 6 years,
middle
which
school.
6 years ago was 2008, that was the year it came out. Could be. He could be in ninth grade now. We'll see. I'll look it up.
Yeah. Uh, Yeah. Drop us some fun facts in 2 weeks. All right, so this is pretty much it. Let's wrap it up here. Again, April the
19th.
19th, the 15th, 19th, yeah,
19th.
is going to be Peekaboo. Yeah, yeah. I'm so excited. I can't even think straight.
Well, then
All right,
we have
so
plenty of
good
time, and
night.
if anybody's watching and they're
Oh,
going to join, watch the episode, go to the official site on AMC and listen to the
hmm.
podcast, like while you're doing the dishes or
Yeah.
something, because this is where you get a lot of inside info that you just don't see when you watch the episode. So I'm going to be
Well,
armed.
one inside info I think is that do they use twins for the kid?
Usually they do use twins, but I'm not sure if it's a one-time deal that they have to. Like, for instance, I know for a fact on The Walking Dead, these two young girls, they are
Hmm.
those two girls. There are no twin
Hmm.
sisters. So, I don't know, maybe the rules are changing. But I think it depends on the scope of how much they're in it. So if if you're a main character, one of the kids is a main character on a show, and they're really young, they may have to swap you out. But this
Because
kid's
that's what
one
they
that
did for Full House with
really, yeah,
the Olsen twins. Yeah, they
yeah,
used both of them.
because there's so much more work. But this kid's in one
Hmm.
episode, and that's it. But I'll have to check that out. Could have been twins. We wouldn't have known the difference. He didn't speak much.
Yeah, I mean they did real good on the makeup if they were twins.
Yeah, he just didn't have to say much.
Yeah.
He said, "I'm
Well,
hungry."
I don't
I
think he
think
said
that's all
anything
he
at all.
said in the whole episode. I'll have to check that out. Does he say more than "I'm hungry"? Because
We
I
got
know.
2 weeks to get all the nuts together.
Okay, we'll study.
Yeah. So yeah, study up. There will be a test.
I'm gonna get an A.
I might have to apply myself a little bit more.
You might have to what?
Apply myself.
Apply yourself.
Apply myself.
Apply
Yeah, I
yourself.
might have to
Why?
apply.
Listen to the podcast.
Yeah, I'll check that out. All right, so see you here on the 19th, the
Okay. Have a
15th,
good
I
night.
mean. Yeah, 19th. 19th. Good night.
Night.